Aquaman number 23.1, aka Black Manta, written by Jeff Johns and Tony Bedard, art by Claude St. Aubin. So, we already saw Black Manta in the Forever Evil number 1 book, and this is basically just a direct recap of that to begin with. We are at Belle Reve Penitentiary, and Amanda Waller's saying, Black Manta, we know you're not a psychopath, because you're not that crazy, but you are very, very merciless and very, very determined, specifically at Aquaman. So, would you like to join Task Force X? And he's like, no, I just want the death of Aquaman. And we get the backstory of Aquaman. Okay, so Aquaman's dad was protecting Aquaman from getting attacked by Black Manta because he was trying to get a piece of his blood. He was hired for it. He had nothing against Aquaman. We didn't even know he was Atlantean. But Black Manta was hired to get some of Arthur Curry's blood, and his dad stopped him in the way. And in the process, died of a heart attack. In revenge, Aquaman went onto his boat to attack him, but ended up killing Black Manta's dad instead. So it just led off this thing of they, are fighting against each other forever. And Amanda Waller points out, okay, I get it. Revenge, cool, but here's the thing. One day, Aquaman will die, and it's entirely possible that will be before you're dead. So what are you gonna do after he's dead? And before he can answer, we see Deathstorm and Power Ring blowing up Belle Reve, and Amanda Waller's like, Jesus, this is the second building I've been in the past, 3 days that has blown up. Everyone, keep the doors closed, don't let anyone out. And we see guards at Black Manta's door immediately get ripped to shreds by, I'm just going to say it, the most horrifying looking king shark I've ever seen in my life. Not because he's supposed to look horrifying, but because his eyes are now on stalks. And I hate looking at it. Anyway, he hands over a coin from the Secret Society to Black Manta, and it's just like, here you go, you definitely deserve in. So we see everybody in Belle Reve breaking out. Black Manta just slowly walks down the hall, not being interfered with at all. A guard nearly tries to stop him, but then Black Manta slits his throat with the coin. Then we get my favorite page in this whole book of him making his way to the personal FX room where all of his gear is stored. While he's in there, Ocean Master is also in there, just getting his stuff out. They just share a look for a second, and then Ocean Master grabs his stuff and leaves. And neither of them do anything to the either one. And I just love it. I don't know why. It's just such a perfect little moment of them saying, no, my gripe's not with Atlanteans. My gripe's not even with this guy. It's just Aquaman. So we see Black Manta escapes. There's a helicopter flying around that he manages to hijack. And he makes his way to Happy Harbor, where all the villains are being talked to by the crime syndicate. And we see, tensions are running high until Aquaman's trident hits the ground. And everyone sees it, and Black Manta just runs over, picks it up, and says, it's mine. This is mine now. I've got it. And the crime syndicate, they step up and they say, Justice League is dead. We killed them all. Especially Aquaman. That's the thing that happened. And Black Manta looks around and he's like, oh, Aquaman's dead. And he just walks away out of the crowd. He's just gone. We see the rest of the stuff happening, he just leaves. And he throws the coin into the ocean, and he makes his way up to Massachusetts, where he's at his father's grave, and he kneels down before his dad's grave, and he's like, Dad, it's over. Aquaman's dead. This is great. This is perfect. It feels awesome. And then we see Ultraman flying up and moving the moon in front of the sun, which we also saw in Forever Evil number 1. And as this happens, of course, it horrifically messes with the tides. So this giant tidal wave comes in and just overtakes this graveyard next to where he's buried. And we see this, the wave overtakes the graveyard as Black Manta uses the trident to hold onto the ground, but his father's grave is literally being torn to shreds in front of his eyes, to the point where the coffin is unburied, the skeleton comes out and just runs away with the rest of the tide. It's gone, and there's nothing he could do to stop it. And Ultraman looks down and he's like, oh right, tides, that's a thing. Oh well, too late now. And he flies away. And we see Black Manta remembering the words of Amanda Waller saying, hey, once he's dead, what are you going to shift your anger to after that? And we see him put back on the helmet, pick up Aquaman's trident, and it says, Black Manta's war against the crime syndicate unfolds in Forever Evil. I'm pumped. I think this was a fantastic issue. I think it does a lot for Black Manta as a character because, again, it says this whole thing of what are you going to do when Aquaman's gone? And it does further the idea of, yes, he wants revenge for his father, but it's not just his father's killer. It's the people who, like, dishonor his father in any way. And we see that because of Ultraman's actions here, he unwittingly did so. So now the whole crime syndicate is on his hit list. I think it's very well done. He's also very menacing. Like I said, I love that page with Ocean Master, where it's just that shared look they have before going their separate ways. I think this is a great issue. I'm going to go ahead and say, I almost want to say 9, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like 9 should not be here. It's missing that little extra something. So I'm going to say a very, 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 very high 8.5. But I am withholding 9. Just, it's missing that little bit of extra je ne sais quoi. So, yeah. But it's good. It's very good. If I could suggest so far, out of all the Forever Evil tie-ins I've read so far, this is the best one.